ESPN and the United States Golf Association are proud to present second-round coverage of the 69th United States Women's Open from Pinehurst Resort and Country Club in the village of Pinehurst, North Carolina. Pinehurst has a proud history as a host of premier women's golf events that dates back more than a century. The prestigious North and South Women's Amateur debuted in 1903, and its list of champions is a who's who, including Louise Suggs, Babe Didrikson-Zaharias, Hollis Stacy, Yanni Sen, and Morgan Pressel. This week marks the first time Pinehurst #2 has served as the venue for the most coveted championship in women's golf, the U.S. Open. 2014 has been a resurgent year for the American women, but an American has won just one of the last 6 U.S. Opens. After one round, Stacy Lewis and Michelle Wie are well positioned in their quest to win our national championship. Intelligent young girl she is. Let's go to 13. Mark Rolfing has the coverage.
Good afternoon, Sean. This is Lexi Thompson's third shot at the par 4. Drove it into the native area on the left and then sort of gouged it over the green to that point, so should be able to save her par.
Is Lexi Thompson, who shot 71 yesterday, 1 over par, and she's had all pars to this point, and she's found the native area.
Yeah, she has. She's trying to play fairly aggressively off the tee. Even used driver on the previous hole, the 13th. So found the native area a couple of times. This lie's not too bad. There's some more fluffy stuff just in front of her. It might affect the spin after she makes contact.
Her aggressive play was really important to her winning the first major of the year. Never hesitated to take driver out of the bag, and it really was the weapon that separated her from the field.
Well, you know, I wouldn't hesitate either if I drove it as well as she did that week. I mean, she was just perfect with the driver.
Well, Judy, she only has 110 yards to the front, as you hear her discuss with caddy Benji Thompson, no relation. So 134 total to the hole. Back right hole location. You cannot afford to be long or right.
The wind kicking up, Jane?
Just a whisker in her face, Judy. Now it's just picking up just a tad more. Just with this storm that's just to the south of us.
For the most part, we've been fortunate with the weather. They did suspend play just after we went off the air yesterday at 7:12 p.m. 10 groups had to come back this morning to finish round 1. And
She's
a brief
made good
thunderstorm.
Contact, Sean, here. Oh, that's a really good play from there.
Back to 14 and Lexi Thompson.
And after just a gorgeous iron shot from the rough. Just a little slider to the right. Oh, just like So Young, just overread it. Perhaps a little too much pace there.
So it'll be 5 straight pars to open the.
Back at 15 now, Lexi with a tester for par just like Kari.
And Steve hit a beautiful little splash bunker shot from the front. Bunker. That's a great up and down.
Shoots back to 14 now.
16th in the world, but she's going to need to do some work to make the cut. Back to 16.
And now the second shot for Lexi Thompson from the left-hand side, Jane.
Well, Mark, she absolutely bombed a drive down the fast lane down the left side here. Has a slightly bare lie in the burned out area of the fairway. Just 148 yards, playing slightly downhill, slightly downwind. Can't be one to 9-iron here for Lexi.
Should be one she ought to be able to get close. Fairly docile hole location day at 16.
Yeah, just can't afford to go long.
Like a heavy little hit to me.
Not too shabby.
So she'll have a chance for a 3. That is Lexi Thompson over at the 16th green. She's got a putt for a birdie, Jane.
And a very makeable one it is, Mark. She's going to be coming up the green, but it's going to have quite a bit of right to left break in it. It's one that, you know, you just have to match up the line and the speed. She had a pretty good day on the greens yesterday, 29 putts. Just a pretty good all-round day for Lexi Thompson. Came back really well at the end.
I would think this is
+1.
I would think this is a good experience for her too, Jane, playing with Kari Webb, who has such a great disposition for a U.S. Open.
Indeed.
Where the results show.
Well, I definitely would agree. I mean, she's won the Kraft Nabisco, the first major of the year, so we know she can do it. But a U.S. Open is another kind of animal.
Don't usually see that happen in a U.S. Open. Maybe a little bit of moisture that has fallen out of the sky has remained on the greens.
We're back with live coverage of the second round of the U.S. Women's Open from Pinehurst #2. The sun back out after we had a brief shower and some rumbles of thunder off in the distance. Lexi Thompson just 5 off Michelle Wie's lead. She's on the tee at 17.
And a tucked right front hole location, Sean. It's going to play downhill, but slightly back into a breeze that's picked up just a little bit more in the last half hour.
Really need a cut to get close to this whole location. And while it's not Lexi's favorite ball flight, it's something she worked on over the winter.
Well, this is not going to the right. This is going towards the front left of the green. It's going to have to hold on.
It did. Just about hole high.
Which is rare at that particular spot.
Over to the state of Kentucky, Commonwealth of Kentucky. 17. Lexi Thompson for birdie.
And from hole high across the green, about 45 feet for Lexi.
Be at the end of the day. The largest it could be is 4, but it might be 4 when this day is over, the way this is going. Lexi Thompson for par. All pars for Lexi. Played in this championship at age 12, so she has good perspective on what Lucy Lee has been going through for Lexi Thompson out of the native area, just off the fairway at 18.
When you're that strong, this isn't that big of a deal. I noticed yesterday it was significantly more difficult for.
It's upcoming for Talley and Park.
This would be J. Marie Green running to 15, and we do mean running. Hurry up and mark your ball before Donald Ross gets a hold of it and it falls off the green.
She's a bit of a character. You wouldn't guess, would you?
There's
Thompson came up well short with her bid for birdie.
And this is a little tricky angle here. She's going to have quite a bit of left to right in this one.
Well, she looks
Back over to 18.
Lexi ready now. First bogey of the day. Still hasn't had a birdie. 1 over for her opening 9. She'll head over to the front 9. And she's 2 over for the championship. That's 6 back of the lead. Michelle Wie shot back-to-back 68s. She'd only shot 2 rounds in the 60s in her previous 10 U.S. Women's Opens combined. She's the leader by 3.
Let's go over to 1.
And Lexi Thompson took a driver off the tee, only has 115 yards to this whole location here on 1, just a sand wedge. And taking good advantage of that great drive.
Donald Ross said the first hole should give you a chance to.
Mother of invention.
Correct.
Lexi Thompson now at 1 for birdie.
And after that, very well judged sand wedge. Just about 8 feet downhill. Should slide a little to her right.
I think an important bounce back after the bogey at 18.
Oh, it looked good for a long time there, Dottie. Just a little too much speed, perhaps.
With an eye toward the cut, Steve, that might be a little tardy. That birdie.
Over on the front side, this is Lexi Thompson with her 3rd shot at the 2nd hole, and Roger Maltby has joined this group.
Good afternoon, everybody. Lexi Thompson now originally had a wedge in her hand, was going to chip this ball, now has decided to putt up a very steep slope leading to the green. Once on the green, so it'll be slow.
Roger, as you saw last week, this 2nd green, one of the most difficult to pitch and putt to. It really is a tough green. And lipped out, now back to 2, and Lexi Thompson for par, Roger.
Yeah, uphill here may go a little bit to her left, but problem caused by a Really kind of a sloppy iron shot. She had a big drive here. Didn't have a lot left. Yeah, good save. Very good save.
Just another par for Lexi, and you can see she has made a bunch of them today. No circles on that card yet, though, but she's got one up ahead at the third, perhaps.
They're
Well,
calling you out.
Call Glenn Kandari.
That's why I wanted to make sure, but there's more on that last conversation in just a minute.
All right. Let's go to 3.
227 yards. Here's Lexi Thompson. No way she's hitting driver here, Judy.
Well, it's only 218 to the front edge, so.
Not sure that's even a 3-wood, Roger.
I question that too. This is high and headed a little right.
Yeah, you hear the caddy saying, get in the bunker. That's going to be a tester.
Let's go back to 18.
Well, we did get
Here now for Lexi Thompson. And Lexi was way right off the tee and ended up in a tricky spot, Roger.
Yeah, not in a bunker, but in the sandy area here to the right of the green, and so has got to putter out. Has a good lie, but there's a lip as the transitions from the native area to turf that if she putts this ball, she's going to putt into it, and it's going to get a kind of a ski lift effect to it. So I don't know. I wouldn't call this a simple shot. Let's put it that way. If she likes to chip it, contact is so critical. If you miss hit it at all, you know, you could really butcher the shot. This way, I think there's a little bit of a guarantee that even if you don't hit your best, you'll probably get it somewhere up around the hole where you have a makeable putt. Popped up across that. Lip. Oh yeah, nice.
Lexi, one of the most powerful players in the game, also with a nice imagination around the third green here, Dottie.
Well, I think the most important thing is to be completely committed to the choice you've made. Whatever doubt you may have as you've gone through the process of trying to figure out the shot needs to disappear, and she did a great job of that.
Let's get you over to 16.
For U.S. Open this year. Back to 3.
Where Lexi, Roger, trying for a very solid up and down.
Yeah, not much more than a tap in here. Couple foot range. Not even that, maybe.
All right. It's a heck of a 3 from the position she was in, and Lexi records her first birdie of the day to get back to even par on the round, 1 over par. So we send you over to 13.
Lexi Thompson at the 4th.
After a big tee shot, just 168 left to the hole up the hill. Ball a little below her feet. Yeah, it's a pretty good looking shot as well, just right of the hole. Very nice. 3 wonderful shots in here.
At a 445-yard hole. That's a group that can smack it for sure.
Back to 4.
Lexi Thompson for birdie to move into a tie for second.
Well, Sean, to give you an idea how difficult this green is to hit, Marshall behind the green here told me 10 of the last 12 players to go through here have missed this green. So 3 terrific shots in here. The bad news, if there is any for Lexi, is this is downhill, one she has to be cautious with.
Ladies, do you think players like Lexi would like the course to be set up a little bit longer? It's just under 6,300 yards again today. Many of the players after the round yesterday expressed surprise that it was that short, and it's only 7 yards different from yesterday.
Well, it would be advantageous to a player like Lexi for sure.
I would agree. Yeah, it's par 70, so you've already lost a couple of par 5s where it would be a great asset to her to have those on the card. And then when you crank it back by some 400 yards off the card number, off the published number, yeah, it takes the weapon away. I think she'd like it longer.
So she joins Amy Yang and Minji Lee in the 3-way tie for second behind Michelle Wee. And she has a chance to make it a little tighter for Michelle when play begins tomorrow morning. Of course, the flip side of that is there's only one player.
Welcome back to Pinehurst number 2, second round of the 69th U.S. Women's Open Championship. Lexi Thompson has driven it left into the natural area here at number 5, the par 5. Roger, what's the lie look like?
Not too bad. Got 197 left. And I certainly think she can get enough club on the ball without a problem.
Same general area. Martin Keimer hit the shot that I think almost won the championship for him a week ago. Made an eagle 3 from over here. Boy, she took a big swing at that one.
Contact is good going at the right side of the green.
And that's going to wander on off to the right, but that's really a pretty good shot out of there. Not the most difficult pitch in the world. Over to 7.
I think we've seen that more than once, Mark.
We sure have.
Here, with all that said, I believe Lexi Thompson is furthest from the hole on the right side of the green. They really haven't acknowledged each other, but I would think Lexi's first to play. And she's got putter out and will putt up a very steep slope getting onto the green. There's a ridge. You can probably see the line on the screen where the grain of the grass changes right at the top of that slope.
Roger, you've been watching golf on TV, if you can tell us that before you came out here this afternoon. That is absolutely right. This one's got a couple of different breaks to it if she's going to putt it, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it's got a squib to her right, certainly coming up that slope, and then once on top, I think we'll go back to the left.
So she's going to have to give this one a pretty good hit at the beginning of the putt, as Roger has told us, because of the color of the grass. Into the grain and up the slope first. She would consider that one okay, maybe okay at best. Mild applause. Now Lexi Thompson for birdie.
And this from just about 6 feet. And you just don't want to let these get away. You get it right up off the edge of a green on a par 5. I mean, you want to walk out with birdie. You don't want. You're going to feel like you left one out there if you don't.
Go back to 5. It's particularly difficult to walk away with a par in this case, Roger, because there's only 2 par 5s when you're a player as long as Lexi. Okay. It's amazing how a good putt will make up for a mediocre shot prior to it. Played the last 3 holes 3 under. And she gets into red figures and starts creeping closer to Michelle Wie's lead of 4 under.
Now tied for the best round of the day, either finished or on the golf course.
Kinds
That's right.
of course conditions. We're at 6. Lexi Thompson, who played in her first U.S. Open at 12. By the way, Judy Rankin knows of what she speaks on all subjects pertaining to golf, but also this topic. You played and won at 14 years old, and it didn't seem to damage you as you wound up in the Hall of Fame.
I was a little damaged that week.
Heading into the weekend.
At 6, Lexi Thompson, very long birdie putt to try to get within 2 of Michelle Wie. Roger?
Yeah, long birdie putt here that's going to move from her right to left. And the thing she really needs to note is not far past that hole. The green runs away sharply, which makes it tough at times to get the ball to the hole. Now, granted, you'd have to hit a bad putt to knock it off the green, but you don't have to hit that bad a putt to do it.
Well,
just get a little too bold and see you later.
We've certainly seen it, Roger.
Roger clearly has inspired this group. He joined them a little over an hour ago. Lexi Thompson's birdied the last 3 holes. So-Yeon Yu has birdied the last 3 holes since Roger showed up.
Glad you're taking notes, Sean. Often it's overlooked.
I think they've asked for you tomorrow.
You want to go out with me this afternoon? I'll play 9 and see if you can inspire me. Pretty
Very
good.
well done. Yes.
Okay, yeah, pretty good lag there.
No reason for alarm. Worse.
Lexi Thompson now 95 yards left. Took the driver off the tee. That bombs away attitude and has left her with just a wedge. Sliding the ball down. Should have some spin.
What an advantage.
If used properly.
Dottie, how does she get that spin?
Well, I think the important thing to remember here is that she has changed her grip and made it much more neutral this year. Puts the ball back in her stance, traps it, and you see the torque in the shaft. You don't see that from many players on this tour other than
When the men's U.S. Open first came into Village Chapel, shutting off the chimes during the tournament, and they said, nope, it's part of Pinehurst. And it really does add charm to it as already a very charming place.
That's Lexi Thompson, who has such an excellent second shot, and a nice look at Birdie there to climb within 2 of Michelle Wie's lead, but putt slid away on the right side from the very get-go. Get you back to 17. You're in tie for 7th right now, along with a couple of other big names, including Paula Creamer at +2. Lexi now to remain 3 shots back of the lead. Wouldn't she love to finish this round off and get into that final group to be able to go eye to eye with Michelle Wie tomorrow in the 3rd round. Okay, so safely in with her 4. Lexi with 2 holes to play here in round 2. Over at 15, member Sandra Gall. We are back on the 8th tee with Lexi Thompson. She's the only player under par currently on the golf course. That one looked like she came over the top and wanted to pause just to wait to find out, but she is in a little bit of bother there. And Dottie, what happened here on the tee?
She fights getting club too far past parallel, but that's also set up by the club, Steve, getting too far inside too fast.
Wow, look at her jump there too.
That's normal.
Okay.
That's highly normal. Not going to leave anything behind if you're chasing those 2 big brothers that she has.
Her brother's colored.
Excuse me, that was 164. Lexi has 161 now and has a very good lie. Pine straw over here, and there are trees that got close to maybe blocking her path, but not. She has a clear line to the flagstick. Nothing behind the ball, so she'll be able to get the club on the back of the ball. That on a lower trajectory and just plugs and it lands in front left.
That
Doesn't
was
move but about a yard.
most fortunate, Roger. Take a look at this swing. Not quite as long at the top as it was off the tee shot. And just, if you can't tell me power's not a part of the game today.
It allows you to hit your drives farther, longer, work at it, because you can play from almost anywhere.
Lexi Thompson alone in 2nd. She and Michelle Wie, the only players under par at the U.S. Women's Open. And now at 8, Lexi Thompson. So much attention about Lucy Lee this week being 11 years old. Lexi was 12. She was asked in the media tent the other day, what do you remember about being a 12-year-old and playing in the U.S. Women's Open? She said her foremost memory was of practicing her autograph, because she thought for the first time in her life she was going to be asked for her autograph, which she was.
And what would Arnold Palmer's advice be to those practicing their autograph?
Sign it so it's legible.
Absolutely.
Write it so they can read it.
Yeah, this has got to be a little better than 70 feet up. Immediately over a rise. Then it still continues to climb uphill slightly.
Speed has been tremendous. Such a big improvement.
Back to 8.
Lexi Thompson for par.
She and Jim McLean just really concerned about her putting after last year, late in the year last year, and moved her off the ball a little bit so her eyes are now inside the ball. She gotten too close to it and tried to be too perfect. Chip.
And the #1 ranked amateur in the world, Lexi Thompson.
She too has a pitching wedge.
Roger just heard her say accelerate. So something tells me this won't be there won't be much held back.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be a baby wedge. I think it's a good solid wedge. This is on a low trajectory. Good looking.
Wonderful.
Good looking shot.
It's so nice when you have that one key that you can always go back to. That was such a beautiful position at the top. And she often gets that club just stuck in that divot where that divot is a little bit deep. And it is kind of exciting to see what the shaft does at that point.